Muriye Zimbabwe, diplomatic drama when a farm visit turns into an international incident. Oh, you know things are bad. When a farm visit turns into what people are calling a diplomatic disaster. Because apparently, President Cyril Ramaphosa didn't just go for fresh air and cows. He walked into what critics are describing as a who is who of controversy. And now, relations between South Africa and Zimbabwe are looking less like neighbors and more like two WhatsApp contacts who have muted each other. The farm visit that went left. So here's the situation when I have Zimbabwe. Ramaphosa visits Zimbabwe. Everything is normal, diplomatic smiles, handshakes, maybe some tea. Then suddenly, boom, he is allegedly seated with individuals like Chivhayo. Now, if you don't know those names, let's just say these are not guys you randomly bump into at Woolworths buying avocados. These are people who have been linked, rightly or wrongly, to major financial investigations. And according to reports, Ramaphosa was like, wait, I didn't RSVP for this meeting. I didn't know they would be here. The South African side quickly made it clear Ramaphosa had no prior knowledge of who would be present, and he is still committed to law enforcement processes involving those individuals, which is diplomatic language for, guys, this was not part of the plan. Right? Imagine going to a meeting expecting policy discussions, and then suddenly it feels like you walked into a group chat you were supposed to leave 3 years ago. That's the level of awkward we are talking about. Was it intentional or just very bad planning? Now, here is where it gets spicy. Some analysts believe this wasn't a mistake. They are suggesting President Emmerson Mnangagwa may have deliberately engineered the situation. Why? Possibly as a response to South Africa's hesitation to back Zimbabwe's 2030 political plans. If true, that's not just politics, that's chess. But like chess where some flips the board halfway through the game. Meanwhile, the Chivhayo situation gets bigger. Let's talk about Chivhayo, because his name keeps coming up like a song you didn't ask on Spotify to play. There are ongoing reports involving large sums of money under investigation, financial movements across borders, allegations linked to election-related contracts. Important note, these are ongoing legal matters and allegations, not final convictions. Actually under investigation. But still, when your name keeps appearing in headlines like this, it's not exactly great for your personal brand. Cross-border tension, now it's regional. This situation isn't just about Zimbabwe anymore. It's now affecting the broader Southern African region. Because when tensions rise between two key countries, diplomacy gets strained. Economic cooperation gets shaky. Everyone starts watching very closely. And yes, it also makes group chats at SADC meetings very uncomfortable. Right? We are talking about the May 18 countdown here in Zimbabwe. There is also talk of a key date coming up linked to constitutional discussions in Zimbabwe. Some reports suggest this could be a major political turning point. There are strong disagreements behind the scenes. Different power centers are not seeing eye to eye. Now, to be clear, claims about military action or direct intervention remain speculative and unconfirmed. But the tension, that part is very real. And then there's Constantino Chiwenga, missing again. In the middle of all of this, Vice President Chiwenga was reportedly absent from a key ZANU-PF Politburo meeting today. Nas, at this point, his absence is starting to feel like not random, not accidental, definitely noticeable. Because in politics, not showing up is sometimes louder than giving a speech. Let's be real for a second. Now, if we step back from the drama, here's what we actually know versus what's being claimed. What seems clear, Zimbabwe, there is rising tension between political actors. There are ongoing financial investigations involving certain individuals. Regional relationships are under pressure. What is still unclear or unverified, whether the farm ambush was intentional, the full details of who knew what and when, some of the more dramatic claims about timelines and interventions. Right, Zimbabwe. So basically, Ramaphosa went to Zimbabwe for diplomacy and somehow ended up in a live episode of Scandal. You know it's serious when even the cows at the farm are like, Ish, this meeting is tense. Mombe zamnanga dzemazinyanga dzedzi. Hanzi dzadzi dzodhura kwai mankank yeah idzo dzedzi. So the bigger issue is about trust. Underneath all the jokes though, there's a serious issue here. Trust between leaders, trust in institutions, trust in how power is being exercised. And once that trust starts breaking down, even small incidents can become big ones. Zimbabwe, let's get to the final thought. Because nyaya yese isitoziva kuti Ramaphosa kutaura kwaita muRezimbabwe kuri kwanzi hanzi I don't know ndasingazivi kuti in fact ari kuti haatozivi kuti Chivhayo is under investigation. So in other words Ramaphosa ari kuti wakatongosvikawo kwaitongofunga kuti maybe mabodyguard amunangagwa achiona zidumbu wamona bodyguard ota zidumbu rakadaro ndiani anogadhiwa nemunhu akadaro Ramaphosa iwewe wega. So zvakamira zvakadaro Ramaphosa ari kutofesa pressure iri serious paJozi paSouth Africa. Pressure ari kufesa iri kubva kuna nadhi iri kubva kuna nachi modzi za politics dzepaSouth Africa. Politics dzepaSouth Africa ndedzechokwadi dzimwe dziya dzekuti kana uchitodliwa ka unenge uchitodliwa wotobva pachigaro. Makaona komandiko zvino vari kushare power mugovernment of national unity and it so ma-optics matters, narrative matters. Ramaphosa ari kukanganisa zita reANC right now because iwe why would you be associated nevanhu vauri kutongoona kuti vakomana vari kuda kutopinza rimwe zimuvhu rakadhakwa kudaro when it comes to democracy and it ndopaya pamunoonera kuti sometimes zvesinganzwisisi kuti is South Africa benefiting from Zimbabwe remaining poor. Aiwa toda kumbotaurawo is South Africa benefiting because isusu as a system muZimbabwe we have tine zvikoro zvedu as a matter of fact zvikoro zvino izvi maybe hazvichanyatsokushanda but pazvainyatsokushanda we were producing educated people, producing doctors, engineers, chichichichi, and then from there we have trained our people to build our economy and then vakomana ndobva vazoita zvisina basa vangojamba because umanyi kunotora land way yakatogwa land yayo unoita zvino nemaprocess because inzwai muRezimbabwe human rights to konzi kudii. Let's talk about this. If you abuse humans, whether murungu, whether Chinese, whether India, kana kuti black person, African, you can't abuse a human. Mutorero makaita land uya, mafanga makaita zvinhu zvine order. Zvati because wangosvika pamba pekuti vana vakazvarwa muZimbabwe vatombozichi vamwe wacho mungosvika muchiti bvapane dzokera kumusha iwe musiyewo ane something chekuti anogona kurarama achienda kumberi but manje problem ndeyekuti machief aitoda kutotora dzimba dzevarungu idzo ndo dzavanga vachitoda andoiza kuti manya kuti hakwana ndikanopindapo ndatodla ini maakuuya matora maplaza aya maakutora mapaipi muchicheka mapaipi muchigadzira mapoto mapaipi emvura shamwari yanga ishanda pairrigation yanga ichirima zimunda rakakura daizvo kutora zvema mapaipi aya mugadzira mapoto demakazviitawo nestep by step motanga kutora land iya isiri kushanda muchitora land isiri kushanda denyika yedu ichakangobalance up to the and de kusina kugara mamborwa nemahuman rights abuse because human rights abuse wanga haina excuse chero isusu hatingakupi excuse kunzi kwanzi since vari varungu back then vakambotiitira zvakashata chingobata chero vana vavo rovai vanhu vaindi hakuna zvakadaro guys. Human rights vanhu vekutoti they are innocent in their lives. Some of them they were born nemacolonialists, they were not colonialists themselves and even if they were colonialists hatiti inonzi ziso to ziso because an eye for an eye can end up having the whole world what blind because akubvisa ziso ukamubvisa hanimaiza. So rikaitita our final thought muRezimbabwe, this whole situation shows how quickly things can escalate. One meeting, one misunderstanding or a deliberate move, one moment of bad optics and suddenly it's not just a visit anymore. Ramaphosa, it's a regional story. Bottom line, what was supposed to be a quite diplomatic engagement has turned into something much bigger. And right now, Southern Africa isn't just watching Zimbabwe's politics. It's watching how those politics are starting to affect everyone else. Zimbabwe. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, stay blessed. Thank you for watching.